Justin Baldoni has intensified his legal battle against Blake Lively, filing a significantly expanded 224-page lawsuit that introduces new claims related to the New York Times metadata and accuses Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, of using a character in Deadpool and Wolverine to mock and intimidate him. Additionally, Baldoni has released handwritten notes from a meeting with an intimacy coordinator for It Ends With Us, which he claims were misrepresented in Lively's lawsuit against him. The dispute, which has been dominating Hollywood headlines for over 6 weeks, now includes a 168-page timeline of events, published on a website launched by Baldoni's legal team called thelawsuitinfo.com. This website serves as a repository of evidence Baldoni says will prove that Lively and her team orchestrated a campaign to tarnish his reputation. Metadata controversy: the New York Times. Baldoni's legal team has raised serious allegations about the New York Times, claiming that metadata on the newspaper's website suggests it had access to Lively's civil rights complaint at least 11 days before it published its bombshell exposé on December 21, 2024. The article, "We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood Smear Machine," accused Baldoni and his team of orchestrating a calculated smear campaign against Lively in retaliation for her allegations of sexual harassment on the set of It Ends With Us. The lawsuit alleges that the Times uploaded an early version of Lively's complaint as early as December 10th, despite the fact that it was officially filed more than a week later. Furthermore, Baldoni's legal team claims that metadata suggests the newspaper may have started working on the story as early as October 31, 2024. Brian Friedman, Baldoni's attorney, argues that this evidence confirms what they suspected all along, that Lively, along with her team, worked for months to manipulate information, leak misleading claims to the media, and systematically destroy Baldoni's reputation. In response, the New York Times has strongly denied the allegations, stating that the date in question was generated by Google software and does not indicate when the complaint was actually received or posted. The newspaper maintains that its reporting was accurate and that Baldoni's claims are based on misinformation spread by amateur internet sleuths. Intimacy coordinator notes and Lively's lawsuit. In an effort to counter Lively's allegations, Baldoni has released what he claims are handwritten notes from an April 21, 2023, meeting with an intimacy coordinator for It Ends With Us. These notes, now published on thelawsuitinfo.com, allegedly document discussions about crafting sex scenes from a female gaze perspective, ensuring that the film, based on a book with a predominantly female readership, would portray intimacy in a way that resonated with its audience. Baldoni asserts that he shared these notes with Lively during a scriptwriting meeting at her home in New York. However, he claims that Lively later misrepresented their discussions in her legal complaint, alleging that Baldoni had inappropriately inserted gratuitous sex scenes and discussed his own personal sex life during the filmmaking process. These notes would later become the basis for Lively's complaint, in which she states that Baldoni would talk about his own sex life and insert gratuitous scenes with Lively's character orgasming, the document states. As seen in the notes, these mentions come directly from the intimacy coordinator's notes. Goes down on her. Orgasm. Foe. The COT test. Baldoni's legal team argues that these were standard industry discussions, led by an intimacy coordinator, and that Lively's refusal to meet directly with the coordinator left Baldoni in the awkward position of relaying these details himself. The lawsuit claims that if Lively had engaged directly with the coordinator, much of the misinterpretation of these discussions could have been avoided. On December 31, 2024, Lively formally filed her lawsuit against Baldoni, accusing him of sexual harassment, retaliation, breach of contract, emotional distress, invasion of privacy, and lost wages. Baldoni, in turn, has vehemently denied all allegations and has filed a countersuit against Lively, her publicist Leslie Sloan, and Ryan Reynolds, seeking $400 million in damages for civil extortion, defamation, false light invasion of privacy, and other claims. Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool and Wolverine. The amended lawsuit also introduces a new set of accusations against Ryan Reynolds, claiming that his portrayal of Nicepool in Deadpool and Wolverine was a direct attack on Baldoni. According to the complaint, Nicepool is depicted as a caricature of a woke feminist who ultimately meets a violent end at the hands of Ladypool, a character voiced by Lively. Baldoni alleges that Reynolds' intent was to mock him, using his influence in Hollywood to portray a warped version of Baldoni's real-life persona. The lawsuit further states that the Nice pool scene was filmed in January 2024, shortly after a heated confrontation at Lively and Reynolds' apartment. Baldoni claims that during this encounter, Reynolds aggressively confronted him, demanding an apology for allegations that Baldoni insists were fabricated. Baldoni's legal team suggests that Reynolds' alleged behavior fits into a broader pattern of intimidation, wherein Reynolds and Lively use their Hollywood influence to silence and discredit Baldoni. They argue that Deadpool and Wolverine was not just a movie, but a deliberate and targeted smear campaign designed to ridicule him on a global scale. Legal battle continues. Both sides are set to appear in federal court on Monday for a pivotal hearing that could determine the trajectory of this high-profile legal battle. Lively's legal team is expected to argue that Baldoni's PR campaign, including the launch of the lawsuitinfo.com, is an attempt to manipulate public opinion and prejudice the jury pool. They are likely to request a court order to limit Baldoni's ability to publicly share case-related information. Meanwhile, the New York Times, along with the Lively Reynolds legal team, is expected to invoke legal privileges that protect media outlets' right to report on litigation and shield private parties engaged in legal disputes from defamation claims. However, Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, argues that if it can be proven that the Times and Lively's team engaged in coordinated discussions before the civil rights complaint was officially filed, it could strip away those legal protections. As the case moves forward, it has already ignited debates about power dynamics in Hollywood, the role of the media in shaping public perception, and the ethics of using blockbuster films as platforms for personal vendettas. With defamation claims, media disputes, and allegations of behind-the-scenes Hollywood power plays, this legal battle is far from over. As the upcoming court proceedings unfold, they could have far-reaching consequences, not just for the individuals involved, but for the industry at large.